man. Detroit versus everybody, man. Detroit, we rep the hardest, man. We gain the hardest. You know what it is, man. Detroit, CJ, holla at your boy when we get home.
All right, man, we back. Goodfellas Sports TV, we in the building. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video, and we're going to talk some boxing. Should be a nice, lengthy video. We're going to talk about Oscar De La Hoya. Is he coming back basically to upstage Canelo or be Canelo's bodyguard? Also, we're going to talk about Canelo Alvarez's situation with the DAZN and how they wanted him not to go over to PBC and what were their stipulations. But first, and also we talk about AJ and Tyson Fury. Fury saying that AJ ain't gonna make that fight because Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua basically scared shitless, according to Crawford. Let's start off with Crawford. Bob Arum, I heard he told Stevie Kim that the Manny Pacquiao fight not happening this year, maybe next year. And I don't think anybody on this planet that follow boxing knew or thought that, that Manny Pacquiao was going to fight Terence Crawford. Okay, he didn't want to fight Errol Spence until after Errol Spence got into a car accident and called him out. And now, we knew Crawford wasn't getting that fight. It was a pipe dream. Even if people did put respectable money up overseas, let's say it was the $20 million minimum that Pacquiao was getting with PBC, it ain't worth the risk. If I can make $20 million fighting Adrian Broner and $20 million fighting Keith Thurman, why would I want $20 million to fight Terence Crawford? And I can make $20 million fighting Mikey Garcia. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is from that standpoint. So we knew Crawford wasn't going to fight Pacquiao. Crawford and his team didn't think they was going to fight Pacquiao. And, at the end of the day, I think Pacquiao is more so want to fight a Mikey or Conor McGregor on his way out, especially if Errol Spence ends up looking good. His next fight versus Danny Garcia. Said that Freddie Roach is saying that he might fight one or two more times before running for president for the Philippines. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's just a payday in the belt for Crawford. So Crawford can have pretty much a better, I won't say resume, but that is true too, but a better stance to fight Errol Spence, where Errol Spence saying he want to get all the belts, then move up. If Crawford was able to get the Super WBA belt, then, it'll make Errol Spence look worse, but it doesn't matter. A lot of these fanboys can't take their losses, all right? They can't, and that's just the God honest truth. They can't take their losses, and they gonna find some excuse for the fight not to happen, even if he does get the WBA or Super WBA belt. But that is what it is. As far as the fight happened, he wasn't gonna get no credit for the fight anyway. You see the difference between articles when he's talking about Keith and Pacquiao, and then when you're talking about Errol and Pacquiao, and then you're talking about Crawford and Pacquiao. The articles say, well, Crawford is too dangerous, or it's not worth it for Manny Pacquiao. And, it is what it is. They was on the same side of the street. Bob couldn't get the deal done. So be it. So I'm hearing that he is having negotiations with Kell Brook. Heard they obviously talked about it yesterday, offering him $1.5 million. Kell Brook ain't even worth that at this point in his career. But I heard if he don't get the Kell Brook fight, then it could be Patrick Teixeira versus Crawford for a fourth belt. Well, for a fourth belt in a fourth different weight class. So he got one at 35, 40, 47, and 54. So if the Kell Brook fight don't jump, I'm hearing that the next option would be Patrick Teixeira, and also could be Ray Robertson. The way they can't find the money for some of the opponents. But I think it's crazy that, Kell Brook should get more than 1.5. But when he fought the DeLuca guy in the UK, he got 2 million pounds, I believe. So I feel Kell Brook, you got to make the weight loss, and, ain't no fans. I don't think Kell Brook, it don't matter. If he beat Kell Brook, it ain't going to count. If he beat Ray Robinson, it ain't going to count. So it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Whoever he fight, between Ray Robinson and Kell Brook, it's the same thing. Now, if you move up and fight Teixeira and you get a fourth belt in 4 different weight classes, they can't take that away from you. You know what I'm saying? They can't. Come on, you did something that no other PBC welterweight has ever done. You already did something that most of them never done, and that's move up, a weight class and win a belt. So I heard Teixeira could be an option. This is why you probably haven't heard Castanos and Teixeira fight get announced, because Crawford is still weighing his options, and Crawford can legitimately, take the mandatory status away from Carlos Castanos because he is the Super WBO champion. So if I'm Crawford, fuck Kell, Brook. You know, even though I got to go to the zone and fight Patrick Teixeira, I go to the zone and fight Patrick Teixeira. You know what I'm saying? It make too much sense. You know, it's a guy that most people think vulnerable. He dangerous though. He almost 6 foot tall, arms 4 inches longer than Crawford's, I believe. You know, it's a dangerous fight. But if you know how to fight taller fighters, you know how to fight taller fighters, man. And I think it's a risk that he should take. You know, even if you lose to Castanos, you tried. You know, maybe that entice some of the welterweights to come out and actually fight you. But, you know, my whole thing is, you know, you might as well go for it. You know what I'm saying? You know, not every day you see dudes become 4 division world champions. And would you stay up there and compete? I mean, that's, you know, to him, can he stay up there and compete with Rosario, who got dynamite in both hands, or Charlo, or Austin Trout, or Lara? It's a dangerous division. You know what I'm saying? And Floyd didn't fight no slick fighters up at 154, unless you consider Miguel Cotto a slick fighter. And Cotto really was looking to fight a seek and destroy type style versus Floyd. So he really wasn't doing a lot of leg and head movement as well. So, you know, I heard that, you know, if Kell Brook don't jump, then it should be Teixeira. And if Teixeira don't jump, it could be Ray Robinson. So if I'm him, I'm going for Teixeira. I'll move up, you know, if I feel like I can, and I'll take him out. Now, had Carlos Adames got that belt, Crawford was going to fight Adames. So, I mean, that is what it is. But let's switch lanes. Let's talk about Eddie Hearn and Sir Anthony Joshua. Let's talk about those guys. And, you know, well, basically, Carl Froch, and I put on the screen, Carl Froch said he put up a post on his Instagram story that that AJ and Fury was facing off, and he said Fury jumped in his DM and said that Eddie Hearn and AJ was never gonna let that fight happen. So he said that, and y'all wonder what I'm doing. He looking at something on the ground that he won't. I don't know what he won't. But, you know, he basically said the fight had never happened, and that's the same. It sounds like it's about to be the same situation with, you know, Fury that it was with Deontay Wilder, man. And like I said before, man, it wasn't no AJ hate. I mean, at some point, I think every Black American fight fan that's around the community was thinking AJ was next up, and AJ had our respect until, you know, he refused to fight Deontay Wilder. And when he refused to fight Deontay Wilder, I was shocked because I thought, you know, legitimately he had a good chance to beat him at one point. And he's scared. So if he don't fight Tyson Fury when the time comes and they start that fight out, then what y'all gonna say? You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna do what we did to AJ and try to, you know, slander his name. And rightfully so, I slandered his name back in the day because we all know he didn't want it. Even when Baby Mama's boy and Ness ran up on him at the DAZN opening in America. You know what I'm saying? And like I said before, he can't beat Tyson Fury right now. And neither can Deontay Wilder. And neither can no heavyweight right now think can beat Tyson Fury right now. And it's always got a puncher's chance because it is the heavyweight division. You know, but if he go through the same saga that he went with Deontay Wilder through Tyson Fury, let's see these Anthony Joshua apologists keep it 100. These dudes can't keep it 100. They can't admit that they wrong. And I can tell a lot of these dudes, they probably not married or they probably don't get no pussy. Because a lot of these dudes can't admit fault. And if you in a relationship or you fucking with a woman tough, you going to have to admit fault. You know what I'm saying? Or you're not going to get far. And a lot of these dudes just can't take no L. They can't take the back seat. They can't just muster up and tell the truth. I could tell the truth. If AJ say something, you know, suspect, I'm going to tell the truth on it. If Wilder say something suspect, I'm going to tell the truth on it. If Fury say something suspect, I'm going to tell the truth. Like with the Fury cheating scandal. There's a lot of people out here accusing Tyson Fury of being a cheat, right? Boy, you can't have no Gatorade, be off the wall. No, they're accusing Tyson Fury of being cheap, but everybody justified the Gatorade bottle in Charlo corner. Oh, the Nevada State Athletic, well, they was in California. They agreed on clear water bottles, but nobody wanted to call a spade with Tony Harrison and Jamel Charlo. You know, and that's the truth, you know, but like I said before, I can believe AJ not going for him. He already said if he don't have no obligations, he going to give Dillian Whyte a voluntary shot at all 3 belts, even though Dillian Whyte ducked him and got him knocked out by Andy Ruiz in the first fight. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't like, you know, he got to come over to America and fight Tyson Fury. Him and Fury can fight in the Middle East. And Fury been clear where he can fight in the UK. So what's the holdup? You know what I'm saying? And you know, Tyson Fury a dog. Say what you want to say. The Tyson Fury that came back and gave Deontay Wilder a run for his money, which I thought he won, he a dog. The rematch, he came back, he a dog. He the best heavyweight walking right now. Especially now he done mastered the art of sitting down on his shots and bringing the pain. And now that he carrying the 280 pounds like his regular walking weight, he a problem. He a problem, bro. And I understand why Anthony Joshua don't want to fight him, but Joshua is looking more fluid. It seemed like he done dropped the weights a little bit, and he seemed like the young Joshua that can scratch his back and wipe his ass. He got so buff that he couldn't even wipe his ass. You know, but it's Tyson Fury right? He is right. They don't want to make that fight, bro. They don't want to compete. Eddie Hearn want to milk every penny. They want to do the Pacquiao and Mayweather thing. Excuse me. They want to milk every penny out the game and then cash out. That's it. And watch how they start playing games with Tyson Fury. If Tyson Fury get past Deontay Wilder. Now, if Wilder somehow come back and beat Fury, you know, should they do it a fourth time again? Yeah, because they tied 1-1-1. Well, 1-1-1. They should do it again. But, you know, if Fury decide not to and Wilder win, you know, they should go ahead and fight Deontay. They're not going to fight Deontay Wilder either. You know what I'm saying? So, AJ, you know, if a lesser threat got that last belt like Usyk or Joyce or the boys, AJ run that contract over quicker than quick. And I think we all know that. So, Tyson Fury is saying that he feels some type of way. I agree with Tyson Fury, you know, because they could have made Undisputed long ago with Deontay Wilder, and they never wanted to do it because they didn't feel that AJ can get away from the right hand, and rightfully so. He couldn't. He still can't get away from the right hand. You know what I'm saying? If Wilder still got that juice in his legs and his body, and he ain't defeated, I still like Wilder in that matchup. Anthony Joshua can't do what Tyson Fury can do. No other heavyweight in the world that I've seen can do what Tyson Fury did. You know, and none of them got his defense neither. And ain't none of them 6'9" and got the equalizer in their hand. So that's just my opinion on that one. But yeah, man, Canelo Alvarez, Oscar De La Hoya. De La Hoya said he wanted to come back and fight the top guys at 54 or around that weight class like the Charlo twins. So basically, is he trying to upstage Canelo, or is he trying to financially save his company in his pockets? Or, you know, basically he trying to be Canelo Alvarez's bodyguard. I mean, if he come back and fight Charlo, that'd be Charlo's biggest payday. I mean, Charlo probably come in there and make what Floyd made versus Oscar De La Hoya, if not more, since, you know, the value of pay-per-view then went up. And, you know, you ask yourself, what Oscar doing? Is Oscar trying to upstage Canelo and show him, oh, this is how I used to do it? Because he ain't talking about no exhibition. Oscar talking about legitimately coming back and fighting top guys. Now, will he actually do it? I mean, who knows? He could or he couldn't do it. But in the grand scheme of things, De La Hoya coming back fighting Charlo, you know, if he have a tune-up or if he can kind of rekindle that flame, De La Hoya problem. You know, that jab is going to be one of the best jabs that Charlo's seen in his career. But then again, can he take the abuse at 48 years old? I would vote against it. Let Canelo go ahead and handle that work. You know what I'm saying? And if Canelo can't handle that work, then, you know what I'm saying, it is what it is. Maybe you can build up Jaime or another one of you guys. But, you know, I don't know if Oscar De La Hoya is trying to be a bodyguard like Dillian White was to AJ for Eddie Hearn for Canelo. Or I don't know if he just got the itch to fight again. But, I mean, I guess it's go big or go home for him. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm really not sure what his angle is. Is he trying to show Canelo this how you fight the best opposition out here? Or are you trying to show Canelo, I'm gonna protect you from these foes, or he's just trying to get some money for his company, his pockets, or he trying to scratch his itch? Who knows? But also, let's end it off with Canelo in the zone. There's been some issues with Canelo in the zone. Canelo was gonna go over and get the WBC belt at PBC versus Javier Uterman. The zone didn't want him to do so, so they asked him. They said they're gonna pay him pretty good under two conditions. He don't go to PBC and fight Ivan Uterman for the WBC belt, and if he fights Callum Smith or Billy Joe Saunders next, they'll pay him good. So it seems that Canelo probably won't be taking a pay cut, or too much of a pay cut if he stay on his own and fight Billy Joe Saunders or fight Callum Smith and don't go fight for the WBC belt on PBC versus Ivan Uterman. It seemed that Canelo could have fought on PBC if he wanted to. So, you know, on that situation, the DAZN is still kissing Canelo ass. They're trying to play hardball with Canelo, but Canelo end up getting his way. And all Canelo got to do is point to look at Triple G, who he fighting. I said I'll fight Triple G September 12th. Triple G the one that said he still wanted to fight Camille Zamata, a guy who's 7 knockouts, who a bum. I can't fight Uterman, but Triple G could fight a lesser opponent. So at this point, the DAZN is basically laying down, you know, the parameters. They're willing to overpay Canelo to keep him from going over to PBC as long as he don't go to PBC and as long as he fights Callum Smith or Billy Joe Saunders. So my preference is I don't care. I mean, Callum Smith or Billy Joe Saunders ain't going to bring subscribers to the DAZN in America, but it will bring subscribers as they break the DAZN UK in the UK, which will be $5 for that first show. I'm not sure what the monthly subscription is going to be after the first show or after the trial period with Billy Joe or Callum Smith taking on Canelo. But, you know, it is what it is. The DAZN is still basically asking these fighters and letting these fighters have their way. Even though you're paying them all this money, they should be doing exactly what you say. But they don't know the boxing business. But I don't think that fight moved the needle. It's just a competitive fight for Callum Smith, I would guess. Billy Joe Saunders, maybe it is a competitive fight, but he ain't looked the same since he ain't had an oxyfree in his ass. So, I mean, we got to see and look forward to, you know, what they got going on at the DAZN. But it looked like it's going to be Callum Smith and Billy Joe Saunders, and they're going to pay him extra, whatever from the pay cut they gave him. They're going to pay him extra just to keep him from going to PBC. So let me know what you guys think. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. Keep sharing the videos. Want to make a donation to the channel? Cash App, PayPal in the description. Cash App is CJ Good 313. Best way to donate is share the video. Appreciate the love, support. One time for the one time. It's your boy CJ Goodfella, Goodfella Sports TV, and check out our boxing news and rumor playlist. We gone.